Hello students, I am Kulesundradeka from CBSE Educational Channel. I am coming to you with a video that is of the chapter of class 10 of CBSE Syllabus and also the course adopted by various state boards of India of class 10 science, that is a chemical reaction and equation. It is the first chapter of chemistry of the class 10 course prepared by CBSE and other state boards also. Let's start with the concept of change. Types of change. We have two types of changes. One is physical changes and other chemical change. Students, we have come across a number of changes around us every day. These changes may be physical or chemical changes. A physical change can be easily reversed, but chemical changes are not easily reversible. Freezing of water or boiling of water give us ice and vapor respectively. These are physical changes. We can get back water by reversing the process. We get water vapor by boiling water. Again, by cooling the vapor, we can get back water again. Similarly, by freezing water, we can get ice. But when that ice is heated, we can have the water again. Evaporation, freezing, melting of something, etc. are physical changes. When milk is converted to curd, we cannot get back milk converted. We cannot get the curd converted to milk. The change behind it is not physical, it is chemical. Similarly, rusting of iron is another example of chemical changes. Iron and rust are not the same thing. Iron is attracted by magnet, but rust does not. Rust is not attracted by magnet. Similarly, the digestion of food, cooking of food, fermentation of grapes, respiration, all are examples of changes. So, students, let's elaborate the things. A physical changes is the change of state. Say water is in liquid state. When we apply heat, when we boil it, its state will be changed. It will attain gaseous state, that is vapor. Again, when we freeze it, we get the solid state of water, that is ice. Now let's reverse the process. If we apply heat on ice, what will happen? It will turn into water. Again, if you cool the water vapor, what will happen? You will get water. So when the process is reversed, the original thing is attained. That means this type of changes are not permanent. No new products are produced here. So these type of changes are only outer changes of the matters, outer changes of the objects. On the other hand, the other change, which is chemical change, like milk, when milk converts to curd, we cannot get back the original milk from the curd by any physical process. Similarly, we notice iron is rusted when it is exposed to water, humidity, or what will happen? Iron gets rusted. But we cannot convert this rusting, this rust, to iron again. We cannot get back iron from the rust. Similarly, when food is digested, we cannot get back the original food. Suppose you have eaten a piece of meat after digestion, it will produce different things. We'll come back later. So what will happen after digestion? The products resulted cannot give you again back. We cannot convert them again back to the original food, which was meat. So these type of two senses are discussed here, and we will concentrate our study on the second type of sense, which is the chemical sense. I also want to remind you that due to chemical senses, a new product, a new thing is resulted. Suppose due to rusting of iron, what happens? A new thing, that is rust, is produced. They have completely different properties. If you bring a piece of magnet here, what will happen? The iron will get attracted, but rust will not be. Similarly, when hydrogen and oxygen combines with each other, when hydrogen combines with oxygen, what will happen? Water is resulted, H2 plus. We'll come to this first order equation. So it is hydrogen plus oxygen, water. What happened? The two things, one is hydrogen, the other is oxygen, and it combines. They combine with each other and form a new product, which is water. The property of water is not like that of hydrogen. The property of water is not with that, not like that of oxygen. We know oxygen helps in burning, but what happens? Water extinguishes water. Water extinguishes fire. That is, oxygen helps in burning, but the water has totally different properties. It extinguishes fire. Similarly, hydrogen burns itself when it comes in contact with fire. So the property of hydrogen, the property of oxygen are not same with the products. This type of reaction is called chemical reaction, and changed behind it is chemical sense. Here, new product, new substance is produced through this reaction. So this type of sense is chemical change. Let's do an activities. When chemical sense takes place, there is a reaction resulting. So what happens? Let's take let's do an activity. Take a magnesium ribbon about 2 cm long. Clean the magnesium ribbon by rubbing it with sandpaper. Heat it with a pair of tongs. Now burn it using spirit lamp. Here the experiment is, you have to take a magnesium ribbon and you have to clean it, and thereafter with the tongue you hold it and burn it in a burner. What will you notice? You will notice that the magnesium ribbon burns with a dazzling white flame and changes into white powder. This powder is magnesium oxide, which is formed due to reaction between magnesium and oxygen present in air. So you will find some ash there. You can collect the ash when burning is completed in a watch glass and observe it. From this reaction, we can know that a new product is found. The white acid, that is of magnesium oxide, we have found this new thing in the reaction. There I will come later to this reaction again. Then let's do another activity. Take a lead nitrate solution in a test tube. Add potassium iodide solution to it. What will you notice? We will notice a yellow and a white solid. When lead nitrate is added to potassium iodide, their particles are combined to form two new compounds, lead nitrate PbI2, which is yellow solid, and potassium nitrate, which is white solid. You will also notice yellow clouds, which indicates that some chemical change has taken place here. Let's have another activity, that is take a few zinc granules in a conical flask. You may also take a test tube there. Add some dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid to this. Have you seen anything happening around the zinc granules? This experiment, you can take here zinc granules in the conical flask and dilute sulfuric acid is added here. You will notice the formation of bubbles around the zinc granules. Observation: a colorless and odorless gas is evolved with bubbles. When zinc granules react with dilute hydrochloric acid, then zinc chloride is formed along with hydrogen. Zinc reacts quickly with dilute hydrogen. You can test whether this gas is hydrogen or not by putting a candle flame or other flame on the mouth of the say beaker or gas jar, and then what will happen? You will distinctly hear the pop sound due to burning of the gas, which clearly establishes that the gas produced is hydrogen here. Let's have another experiment, another activity. Take a small amount of calcium oxide or quicklime in a beaker. Slowly add water to it. Touch the beaker. Have you felt any change in temperature? You will find that the beaker becomes hot. We will notice that when water is added to calcium oxide or quicklime, it will be converted to calcium hydroxide COH2, or it is called slack lime, with liberation of extreme heat. Slack lime, it is called slack lime with liberation of extreme heat. That means extreme heat will be generated, and that's why the beaker will be hot, and if you touch it, you will feel the rise of temperature. This type of reaction is called exothermic reaction. That means the heat is produced in this type of reaction. Another activity: take some silver nitrate solution in a test tube. Add some potassium chloride solution to it. What have you noticed? You will find that a kind of white insoluble substance, which is called precipitate, will be noticed at the bottom of the beaker. Suppose I have a test tube. When potassium chloride is added to silver nitrate, what will happen? Silver chloride, a substance called silver chloride, LgCl, is formed. This silver chloride is insoluble in water, and as a result, what will happen? It will remain on the bottom of the beaker. This type of substance, which is insoluble is called precipitate. So students, we notice a lot of changes taken place during chemical changes, and we can notice some permanent changes when a chemical reaction takes place. In case of physical change, the change is temporary, not permanent, and it is easily reversible. But in case of chemical change, it cannot be reversed. We cannot get back the original thing or substance. A chemical reaction is always behind any chemical change. The following observation helps us to determine whether a chemical reaction has taken place or not. These are change of state. That means the reactants, that means those things which got changed may change its state from solid to gas, solid to liquid. Hydrogen gas is generated, which is gases. But when we liquid hydrochloric acid is added to solid zinc granules. So zinc granule is solid, hydrochloric acid is a liquid, but what happens? We get a gaseous substance called hydrogen. So what happens? The change of state may be the indication of a reaction has taken place, a chemical change has taken place. Change of color, there may be change of color when different substances are produced. We notice that after the change, some substance has produced which has different color. The activity in which we add potassium iodide solution to lead nitrate, what will happen? You will notice a yellow colored substance and another white colored substance. The yellow colored substance is that is lead iodide, and potassium iodide was the white solid. So when we find a different colored substance, we may consider that some changes, chemical changes have taken place. That means some chemical reaction has taken place. Similarly, evolution of gas. In the case of zinc granules added to hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid, what happens? A gas is evolved. From this, we can know that a chemical reaction has taken place. Similarly, change of temperature. When water is added to quicklime, what happens? The rise of temperature can be felt. So from the change of temperature, we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place. Exothermic, in the exothermic reaction, what will happen? Heat is produced, and as a result, what will happen? The temperature will be rising. So the change of temperature is the indication of a reaction has taken place. Similarly, formation of precipitate. In one experiment, when one activity, when potassium nitrate and silver nitrate and potassium chloride are allowed to react with each other, what will happen when silver nitrate is added to potassium chloride? What will happen? Silver chloride will be produced. We have already shown it in the experiment. As a result, what will happen? A precipitate, that means insoluble substance called silver chloride, is produced. So this type of precipitation, formation of precipitations, may indicate that a reaction has taken place. Thus, the students, we can know whether that chemical reaction has occurred or not by these changes. Thus, a chemical reaction is a change in which one or more substance, which is known as reactants, reacts to form new substance or substances which have completely different properties. Let's take an example, simple example of reaction. H2 plus O2, H2. That means hydrogen and oxygen combines together to form water. Here hydrogen and oxygen are reactants and water is called products of the reaction. Water, the product of the reaction, is completely different from the two reactants, hydrogen and oxygen. Water extinguishes fire while oxygen helps in burning and hydrogen burns itself when comes in contact of fire. Thus, the students, we have discussed two types of changes, physical and chemical changes, and also a cause behind it. Behind every change there is a chemical reaction, and with the help of reaction all chemical changes have taken place. So we'll come later in later videos that what is chemical equation. A chemical equation is a symbolic expression of a chemical reaction, and various type of chemical reactions and expression of them in chemical equation all will be discussed here. So let's wait for the next videos. Today I will say goodbye to you. Hope to meet you again in our next videos. Thank you very much for watching these videos.